mean, fast forward a number of years, Tariq's like, I'm 27, so Tariq would have been 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6. And I pick him up from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick him up from school, bring him to mine. Me and him are like playing PlayStation and all this kind of stuff. And like before then, we do stuff like I take him cinema and like interact with him and stuff like that. So I picked him up from school, took him to mine. Like, number one, the boy didn't stop. Like the boy didn't stop eating, and he didn't stop. It was constant. Like, oh, Bevan, can we do this? Do that? Bevan, can we do this? Bevan, can we do that? Bevan, can we do this? And I was like, wow. Like, first of all, I think to myself, like, right, how did my mum do it with 2 of us or 3 of us? And then second of all, like, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I was going out, I think the weekend before I picked him up from school. So it was midweek. I picked him up the weekend before I went out raving. And then the weekend after I'm going out raving. And then I thought to myself, like, this was my dad's life. This was my dad's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 19 years ago. This was me. This is the same thing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And at the time, like, you know, sometimes you feel like you got it figured out at that age. But at 7, you know what I mean? I'm still out here. I'm still trying to, you know, I'm single. I'm trying to meet women and all them kind of things and whatever. And that could have been my dad. The only difference is I don't have a child. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, like, at that point, I'm thinking to myself that, like, you still feel like I'm still a young dude. I'm not, you know, I'm still want to go out. I still want to have fun and whatever. And then I just don't have the added responsibility of having a child. Yeah. So at that point, I saw it to myself and thinking, well, all right, yeah, my dad had me and whatever, but he's still trying to do the same things that I would have been doing at my age, how many ever years prior to that. So it was like, it was almost like a looking in the mirror reflection moment. And then I was like, you know what? There's no point. Like, it's almost like, right, I get it. And it wasn't. And as I said, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like he was never there. It wasn't like he never checked me. It wasn't like he would. It wasn't like it, you know, we went years and never spoke to each other or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So you and your dad kind of build this relationship that I see or I have seen, and do you understand? And obviously you and your brothers as well, same thing. How do you think the relationship that you have with your dad, whether how it started or how it was when you were young to how it is now, how do you think that impacts on your ability to be or your capabilities as a father? Yeah, really
that. I don't know. It's different because I don't know really. You know, I didn't know how to be a dad before I became a dad.
Okay.
Like, my thing was when I had my son is that I can't ever let this boy down. There won't be a time where, like, he's gonna need me and I won't be there for him.
And where do you think that come from? Where did that feeling or that thought? Why is that the focal point?
Because I feel like that was the stuff that I was missing when I was younger. So, like, as I said, there may be times when, like, I was younger and my dad was meant to come pick me up and then he'd be doing something else, and then or like he's meant to come get me and I'd be sitting there waiting, and then he just, I don't know, whatever happened, but he wouldn't do that. He didn't turn up or whatever else. Do you know what I mean? And then, like, I'd be, what's it called? Like, I'd be hurt by it. And we're not talking about the days of mobile phones when I can phone the house and say, where is he? I could phone the house and say, where is he? But if he's not at the house, then I can't find him. You know what I mean? So it's like, when I have my son is never going to be questioned at any point in his life that his dad is there for him. Doesn't matter. Like, it wouldn't, that's never going to happen. And, like, you know, it's different now because, like, me and me and my son's mum like went up together or whatever else, and he lives far away. But when I have to go get him, the weekends I have him, those are my weekends, and I go get him. And even if he
Hmm.
says to me, "Dad, can I come get him this time?" If I can do it, I do it. But it's never gonna be that like he's gonna be sitting there saying, "Oh, my dad's meant to come get me today," and I don't go get him. Like,
Yeah.
no way, that can't happen. Like
Okay.
that's these, yeah.
So you see that feeling. So you see that like delve into that for me. So let me make me understand what what you felt in that moment of when I say that moment, I mean of you expecting to see your dad and him not being there. So I hear that you're saying a lot about kind of um, feeling like you want to make sure that your son knows that you're always there for him. So
Mhm.
by him not by your dad not turning up at those times, did that make
Yeah.
you feel like you couldn't rely or you couldn't count on him to be support for you?
No,
Is
it
that
wasn't. It was no
yeah?
because this. It's not necessarily that. It's more disappointment.
Okay.
It's more disappointment. I'm disappointed because that like I'm waiting. It's kind of like um like when an adult promises you something and then they don't deliver,
Yeah.
and there's a level of disappointment, and then
Mhm.
you kind of sometimes you get used to that kind of you get used to that disappointment. Do you understand
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say? But then like the next time it happens, say like I don't know, say like he's meant to come pick me up on a Saturday or whatever else, and he doesn't come
Mhm.
to pick me up.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like the next time he's meant to come pick me up on a Saturday, he might he might do it or whatever else, but I'm not expecting the next time he comes to pick me up that he won't come to pick me up. Do you
Mhm.
understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it wasn't it because it's not something that happened all the time, or it wasn't like it happened one Saturday and for a month I never saw him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was going. I didn't have that kind of. I didn't build up that kind of thing where I'm going to be let down again. But
Okay.
when I did get let down again, it was still like it was still that's when I'd act
Painful.
up. It was painful. Yeah, it's painful. Like I'd be vexed.
Mhm.
I'd be mad. I mean, someone can let you down, and you know they're gonna let you down. Yeah,
Mhm.
like, whether it be one of your friends or whatever else, you'd be like, "Oh, he said he's gonna be here at 10 o'clock," and then 12 o'clock. Like then after a while, you know that you ain't getting it till 12 o'clock in it. So there's no
Mhm.
point in getting vexed. But like where it's like, um, he's saying he's gonna come pick me up or he's gonna
Mhm.
come do this, and then there's only two occasions that I can think of in my head where it happened and he didn't come. He didn't come, and it probably happened more, but
Mhm.
there's only two. Like I think when I was younger, we got engaged and I was meant to go to the engagement party, and he didn't come pick me up. I don't know what
Mhm.
happened. He didn't come. And another time, I was at one of my mum's friends' houses, and he meant to come pick me up, and like it's almost like I'm little and whatever else, and I'm like when I'm at my mum's friend's house and they're talking to me, and I'm answering the questions short because I don't want to talk to no one at the moment. Like I'm
Okay.
annoyed.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be there, and he's not come, and then like I don't know why he's not come or what he's doing or whatever else, and sometimes you might think that like what is something more important than coming to get me,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Do you know what? The reason I'm asking you is just because,
Yeah,
see, before now I've got a bit more of an understanding. I'm saying before I was thinking, you know, I'm trying to find out why is this thing the most, almost the most, I don't want to say the most important because I'm sure it's there's a load of things that are just high up on this list of things that you value as a father, right? Or yeah,
yeah,
to impart on your son. But
yeah,
it's like I feel like there has to be some level of kind of it had to be really important just from the way you discuss it for it to I don't know maybe be more at the forefront of your um, must do list of being a father than let's say for example I don't know money, for example, or
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not.
bro.
I'm not saying it's not like comparable, but I'm just saying emotion wise, there. I feel like that thing is attached to an emotion,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And obviously,
yeah,
I don't know what your pup's contribution was, and financially, or any of the other areas, but I feel like that particular issue is something that is attached to emotion, and I'm just
yeah,
trying to work out like that disappointment. Because I'm just trying to work out is that disappointment is that thing that as a child you becomes part of, like stays with you, if that makes sense. You know, if let's say your dad doesn't contribute on a Christmas, for example, when you don't get the new PlayStation, for example, yeah, you're disappointed, and yeah, you wanted the PlayStation or whatever, but is the disappointment of missing out on time something that um, stays with a child for longer and impacts impacts kind of their decision making? Does that
yeah.
make any sense at all?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mm.
It's difficult to answer that. It's difficult
Yeah,
to say or the
yeah.
other what it is because, but like for me, time was important. I didn't have that
Hmm.
time. Like I don't remember if my mum and dad split up when I was 2 years old, so I don't remember living with my dad.
Right.
I don't remember being there every single day.
Hmm.
Like the time I get with him is on a Friday to a Sunday.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I mean? And with
Yeah.
in that time, like I love being around him. Like he's my dad. Like, do
Hmm.
you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, even if I had him, even when I was at my grand, so when I was younger and he was still living at my grand's, and I go to my grand's house.
Hmm.
Saturday, I remember some Saturdays he'd have to work, and I remember waiting until 6 o'clock for him to come home, so I could just be with my dad.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I mean?
Hmm.
That time is more important than to me. The time is more important than anything else. Yeah, like you can have the financial stuff and whatever else, but I know plenty of children that their dad bought them everything, but they don't have a relationship with him. They don't know him. He don't know them.
Hmm.
You understand what I mean? Like that
Hmm.
time to me was the most important thing, and that's the same thing that for me being a father and with my son being so like far away, it's the time.
Hmm.
I have to give that time. Like money and stuff like that. Like you know, I'm not gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure that he's taken care of when he doesn't
Of
when he has
course.
stuff. Or what,
Of course.
do you know what I mean? That's just at the end of the day. I see it as that he's my son. I take care of my son. I take care of my child in it. So
Hmm.
that's a given. But my time is something that I can give him, and it's precious. We have those moments, and if we do stuff together, then he will remember that.
Hmm.
And sometimes you might I feel like you remember those things more than the stuff that was bought for me anyway.
Hmm. I agree. I agree 100%. Definitely. Um, yeah, I agree with that. That's interesting. Just interesting for just purely just for my own kind of understanding of fatherhood is
Hmm.
I'm just trying to, not like I'm trying to find a way to what's the least I can do to not mess my fuck my child up. That's not you know what I'm saying. That's not what I'm trying to do. You get what I mean? Is I'm trying to kind of find a level of understanding on what things are the most detrimental. What things do I have to invest my time and my effort in preventing as best I can, because obviously we don't know, we can't see the future, but preventing as best I can from, for want of a better word, damaging my child in ways that I can physically decide to do or not to do. You understand?
Yeah,
Does that make
bro.
sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but there isn't a manual. You don't. You
Mm,
might think you're doing the best for your child, and there may be something else that they need,
Of
and it's
course.
difficult to get that out of somebody
A
that
child.
doesn't have the
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
the vocabulary for certain
Yeah.
things. They can't, like I have my son, and I try to talk to him, and I try to understand, and
Mm.
I think one of the things, like like my son sometimes can be he takes a while to warm up to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I've taken him somewhere, and like the boy is clinging to my leg. Like I'm like, what's the matter, son? Like we're not going we're going to his family. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
And then like I'm like, son, what's the matter? Like, what is it? Talk to me. And like I don't know if he thinks I'm telling him off. And then it took him so long to say to me, Daddy, I'm shy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, son, that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
that's all right. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But then
Mm.
I'm thinking the next step is, how do I bring him outside of that? How do I bring him outside of that show? Do you understand what I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
say? I don't want, he can be, cautious, and he can try to, survey his environment and all that kind of stuff. But I don't want that to be the basis of him doing anything, so he misses out on opportunities.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Is that something that you've
know,
actually have you found a solution? That is obviously specific to your particular son, but I'm saying, have you found
something
a
that I work
solution? Is that something
I
okay?
work
So okay,
I work on it. Work on it. I make him do stuff that he's not comfortable with sometimes.
okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I think one time I sent him to the shop. I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, I sent him to the shop. I said, "Here's the money. Go to the shop. Go get this." He didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that I followed him. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that I followed him. But I put him in a position where he has to do something that I think we spoke about it. He's like, "Why do I have to go to the shop?" I said, "Because I said you got to go to the shop, son. You know what I mean? You're big now. It's time for you to go and do certain things. You know what I mean? And you're gonna ask
Mm-hmm.
me, can I have this?" And yeah, you can have it, but you got to go to the shop and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not there with him every day, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's going through, and or what he's doing. So I have to kind of, when I do have him to when I do have him, I got to work on those things with him. I know that he's only he's 7 years old. I'm not expecting him to be an adult or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to feel that kind of that shy, that when he's around his own family that he just can't, like he doesn't want to talk, or he wants to, like, do you know what I mean, cling to my leg and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
great, and I know it took him a while to warm up and stuff like that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still trying to, like, not let that be like a crutch for him, or something that
Yeah.
develops even something even worse when he gets older. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's going to make him miss out on relationships, and it's going to make him miss out on
Yeah,
experiences as well. And
that's what I
the
mean.
benefit of
Yeah,
coming from, because you've got a big family, so the benefit of coming from a big family is that you get a chance to kind of experience these different relationships and
yeah,
these different experiences. So yeah, it's I suppose, yeah, it is an important thing to kind of almost, I don't know how I would word it, but yeah, to challenge that, for him to find where he actually can sit comfortably. Because without him being challenged up, he's just gonna go where it's easy rather than where he can comfortably move. Do you understand? Because I
yeah.
suppose
Well,
there's a difference. Yeah. Go on, sorry.
yeah, yeah. You're right, and yeah, you're right. It's something that I want to challenge in him. I mean, when I was younger, I was very quiet and stuff. I'm still quiet now, but I was at his
Yeah, right.
age. Well,
I said, yeah, yeah, right. This guy.
what is this about?
Man said, yeah, I'm still quiet now. Get up. Where are we going?
No, yeah, but I still want him to, the one thing I realize when you have children is, when you have your children, and then
Mm,
will notice things about you. They'll show you you. They'll show you the mirror to
mm-hmm.
you.
I've heard that
Do you know
before.
what
Go on.
I mean?
Delve into that a
Like,
little bit.
all right, so like it's weird. So if there's one thing in your child showing you stuff about. Imagine that you have your child and then they show you stuff about you that you didn't necessarily like about yourself, and they do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like I'm actually confronted with myself. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
So when I was younger, I was very shy and stuff like that, and then I see it in my son, and I'm like, wow, that this is me, and it's a part of me that I didn't like and had to work on. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get mad at him for being how I can't get mad at him for showing me me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Mm.
understand what I mean?
Mm. Interesting.
It works in the other way as well because they'll show you stuff about you that you love about yourself.
Mm.
Do you understand what I
Yeah.
mean? They'll show you.
Yeah.
They'll show you. You'll see it. You'll see stuff about. You'll see stuff in them that is your partner, and you see stuff in them that's you. And then it's when you're confronted with the stuff in them that is you that you don't, you know, if you're stubborn and they're stubborn, you're like, oh well, I'm stubborn, what am I gonna
Mm.
do?
Mm.
Do you
Mm.
understand?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, you understand? So it's like seeing that mirror and that mirror being put up to you and you're like, oh, like there's some stuff that I have to confront and deal with first because I can't tell him not to be like that if I'm like that. Do you understand what I'm trying
Mm.
to say? It's
Fair.
that you Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question.
To be fair, I don't remember what the
Yeah.
question was that I asked. I just know that I was smelling. I was feeling all of that. I was feeling all of that. So I could tell this is going to be one of them episodes I'm going to enjoy editing. Like, I mean, your son lives a few miles away. Not a few, but you know what I mean.
A
How,
few miles.
yeah, 100 miles or however many miles it
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's almost like not almost. It's your time with him is limited,
Mm-hmm.
and especially as I'm assuming that's some kind of trigger for you anyway, because the time that you obviously had with your dad was limited when you were coming up. So how have you navigated those obvious emotions that are going to come with that? How describe that process to me of adjusting.
Adjusting.
Mm,
It took some time to adjust.
mm-hmm,
It took a while. Like when me and his mum broke up and
yeah.
he moved,
Mm-hmm,
he was three,
okay.
four, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm,
And it took a while for me to adjust to him being so far away from me.
mm-hmm,
Like me having him like here every day, like me me playing with him, like little things with him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like him just waking up in the morning and like there's some things that he would do, like he just like come into the bed and jump on me, give me a hug, and then run off. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
mm,
And then he's not he's not there every day anymore. So it took a while for me to adjust to that, a long while, and then you start to question yourself. I start to question myself as a dad. Was I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing by him?
in what
Am I a
respect?
good dad? What do you mean?
You say, are you doing the right thing by him? By what? By what? Not going there, or by
No,
not
that's
being
it.
with the mum, or just the relationship breaking down? You not you.
No,
What do you mean when
no.
you say, are you doing the right thing?
Like so, I mean, you look at you might look at your other friends that have got children and stuff like that, and you see their
Hmm.
interaction with their children. Do you know what I'm trying to
Okay.
say? You see like they got they you know posting stuff that they might have like pictures of them taking their children to school on the first day and
Hmm.
like just you know what I mean, interacting with their children, taking them out and doing all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm I think the worst thing I could have done is just like look at someone else's relationship with their child and not knowing anything about it and then thinking like, wow, am I actually, how good of a dad am I? Questioning my abilities as being a dad, not realizing that
Hmm.
like, not realizing that, you know, that my son actually loves me. My son is, do you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
he's, he's proud of me and I'm proud of him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
Hmm.
it took a while to adapt to that, and then knowing that I'm actually doing the best I can with what I know, because there's no manual for this. Or
Mm-hmm.
not, you know what I mean? I don't really read them parenting manuals, but there's no manual for this. Every child's different, every
Mm-hmm.
relationship's different, so it's just, yeah, it's just so I think I learned not to be so hard on myself with that. Me and his mum didn't work out. We broke down. The relationship broke down. And would it be better for him to be sitting watching me and her constantly arguing, stuff like that in front of him, rather
Mm-hmm.
than he sees that he gets love from her when he's with her, and he gets love from me when he's with me?
Mm-hmm. No, can I ask you a difficult question? Probably loaded as
But
well, but it's loaded. It's a loaded question, but more on my
yeah,
side. So I just want you to just kind of be honest.
yeah.
Do you like the fact that your child is 100 miles away?
Hmm.
Um, what level of understanding do you have for a father that kind of says, because my child is X amount of miles away, or the relationship with the mother is this level of toxic, or whatever the kind of quoting around this issue, that they, I don't know, down tools and say stuff like, when my child's old enough, he'll come find me, or like them, that kind of narrative. What What are your views on that? Having experienced a stressful relationship with the mother of your child, having experienced the mother of your child moving X amount of miles away, and then having to navigate getting up there and back, and still communicating with this person that you've got whatever issues with. Um, does that give you a level of understanding of how somebody could do that, or
uh,
is the fact that you do it, not trying to say it's easy, but the fact that you do it and have found a way to do it, does that mean that you have got less understanding? Does that question
uh,
make any sense at all? It made sense. All the
makes
sense. Made sense in my head anyway.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but bro, I'm looking at it from me. I can't.
Mhm.
It's simple for me. Like, that's my son. No one else is raising my son but me.
Mhm.
And his mum. I don't. I mean that. But what I
I know
mean
what you
is,
mean though.
pardon.
I know. I said I know what you mean. I know what you get. I know what you're saying.
I'm I'm raising my son. So it's not that
It's a
I'm judging
responsibility
someone.
and an obligation.
Yeah, and I don't. It's not what's it called either. It's not. It's not like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Mhm.
Simple. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. That like I don't like his mum doesn't make my life difficult in the fact of that she's going to stop me from seeing my son.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
That's not that. So I don't have to worry about that.
Mhm.
I don't. So him being 100 miles away from me is not a big deal.
Mhm.
Like, I go get him and come back. Like, the distance wouldn't be a big deal. But can I judge a man if like he's trying to see his children and then like the mum is making it difficult for him to do that, or making his
Mhm.
life difficult to do? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
Mhm.
unnecessarily difficult. I'm not talking about like you can't see your children or he's got to go to court and all them kind of things. I'm talking about that, she's trying to actively make his life miserable. Like,
Mhm.
if she's unnecessarily involving police when they don't need to be, or
Yeah. Or yeah. There's nuances, I suppose.
yeah, there's nuances. So I
But what I'm
can't
talking
say,
about, you see, your
yeah,
situation, exactly as your situation is, because obviously
exactly.
we can't talk on anybody else's. But I'm saying,
No,
if
no, no.
somebody has your situation and
Yeah.
that, as you experienced it, is enough, well, I still
Yeah.
feel like I'm leading the answer. But all right,
What
yeah,
you're
would
asking
you,
me, so
yeah, go on,
someone who was in exactly my situation, they didn't do what I was doing. How would I
yeah,
feel about it?
mm-hmm,
if it was one of my friends and asked them what they're doing, we'd have to have a
mm,
conversation about that. Do you know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like, how can you do that? What do you mean?
mm-hmm,
What is going on in your life that's so important that you can't go up to go get them?
mm-hmm,
You understand what I'm trying to say? Because you
mm-hmm,
can't be telling me that you're gonna go link Gala or anything like that, or you're gonna rape them,
mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
you're taking no that regardless of how far. I'm not saying that, like, if they lived in Scotland or something like that, then, or they lived in Newcastle or somewhere, like, that's gonna take you whatever. Like,
Mm,
do you know, if he's in exactly the same situation I'm in and he's exactly where my son is, then I don't
mm-hmm.
see how. And that's not even me being on my high horse or anything like that.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. You know, it's just literally, I'm just, like where I'm never trying to just analyze whether my views are out there, whether I'm just this brick top person that certain people like to characterize me as hard-headed or stubborn or
Yeah.
one-track minded. Sometimes I like someone who's maybe a bit more rational in emotional situations, kind of, or emotional conversations, let's say. Find out their view.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because, like I say, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I've got all the respect for you in the world. I think what you do, how you've navigated and moved just through, like you said, struggling through kind of almost like the self-doubt and the struggling in these situations with being confronted with your son being so far away. I salute and tip my hat to you and all of these good things. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what you're supposed to do, is find a way. I respect the way that you found to do it, but I feel like finding a way is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, bro. I don't think I should get a pat on the back for doing this. Like, that's
Hmm.
do
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get a medal. Like, like, for me to say, oh, listen, I take care of my. I go. It's not. That is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That, would you want a pat on the back for going to brush your teeth or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, what? How old are we?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So
I hear you. I don't want to. I don't want to negate the fact that there is a lot of there is a lot of respect there. Maybe not just maybe maybe the fact that we are around, or I'm around, or have come into contact with so many people that don't do what is expected or what is required or what is the standard, what is
Mm-hmm.
expected, and all these other it's. Do you know what I mean? It's like maybe that's why you and other people like you that's in my life are kind of, I can only speak about me, are looked at in this kind of um, in this high regard. Do you understand?
Yeah.
For being able to navigate through. But like you say, um, you can get a pat on the back because it's not easy and life isn't excuse me, isn't smooth. So you can say, well, you've navigated it in a way that is impressive, and not saying you're trying to impress people, but you know what I mean. But like you said, yeah, I can say, wow, well done for brushing your teeth every day of the week ever in life since you learned how to do it yourself. Cool. Like I've missed 3-4 days at least in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you can say, well, I'm literally never, get what I mean? It's like you could still give someone their props for being consistent and literally being that level above. But like you said, you're expected to. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that do have and will continue to. You know? Yeah, sorry, I feel like I cut you off there just to get on my soapbox.
No, no, that's good, bro. It's good.
All right.